Hello, and welcome to another video in our Bestiary series, where we look at the various monsters of Dungeons & Dragons throughout the various editions, ranging from the most iconic to the most obscure. This is a video series designed to help both players and Dungeon Masters find out what kind of shit they're going up against, and not need to sit down with the monster manual for hours on end to go through all the various maths. Today we're going to be checking out the Marilith. And no, not in that way, you fucking pervert. These demons from the abyss have 6 arms and are beautiful women from the top with snake bottoms and some kind of weird twisted mermaid shit. These ladies carry 6 highly decorated swords that they can use to cut your head off, while only wearing different bangles and jewels, as, like that girl from high school, she's beautiful and she knows how to use it. These HBICs stand at a whopping 9 feet tall and weigh over 2 tons or 4,000 pounds, but I wouldn't mention that to the Marilith. They are named after the strongest of their kind, a strong demoness by the name of, you guessed it, Marilith, and are generally thought of as more intelligent demons, where demons of the abyss typically only focus on causing the most carnage and are simple-minded creatures that just attack and cause chaos wherever they can. The Marilith is a more cunning variety, and as such is able to use her personality and wits in addition to her prowess in battle. With this as well, because of her unique talents, she's able to lead the various armies of the Abyss, which is an extremely rare talent in this excessively chaotic environment. This is only partially because the demoness is so cunning and manipulative, but is mostly because the various mindless demons know that where the Marilith goes, destruction and devastation are very closely behind. What you may not know is that in the Abyss, the various demons have a hierarchy that is mostly determined by their ability to cause devastation, carnage, and sheer power. The Marilith is second in terms of general demons after only the Balor, which are the most powerful demons of the Abyss, second only to the demon lords themselves, who lead the various armies of demons. The Marilith commands vast swaths and is generally unopposed in all that she does in the Abyss, and if encountered on the material planes, is not something that most adventurers would want to dive headfirst into. Mariliths thrive in battle, dancing with their various 6 swords, which are their most prized possessions as well, as the Marilith attains these swords by defeating powerful opponents and wielding it against future ones. If a Marilith were to lose a sword, or one were to be taken from her, the vengeance that she would seek and the ends she would go to get it back are unimaginable. If given the opportunity to enter a portal into the material world, the Marilith is one of the first demons to dive headfirst into it, as she understands one of the best ways of stabilizing a portal to the Abyss is causing a massacre of death and destruction around the portal. She will immediately dive into the portal and slaughter any living thing near the portal, including humans that may have summoned her to the material plane. She is not interested in their various schemes or whatever requests they have of her, as everyone else is simply pawns or a means that may betray her to more powerful demons of the Abyss in the future. Once the local residents have all been slaughtered, the Marilith will set up her new base of power in order to spread her influence in this new region and protect her from usurpers. Mariliths are often known for relaxing with hundreds of slaves supporting them on various different transportation devices and grooming them as they value beauty above all things. Mariliths get their initial inspiration from Hindu mythology, and likely from the various different goddesses there, such as Shiva, that feature multiple arms. They first appeared in Dungeons & Dragons in 1st edition back in 1976, but were simply titled a Type 5 demon and had no specific name at that time beyond being immensely powerful. This first depiction of the Marilith took place in the Eldritch Wizardry supplement, which was released for 1st editions of Dungeons & Dragons and introduced many iconic things to Dungeons & Dragons, such as Mind Flayers, Psionists, and all the various types of demons, including the various different demon princes, such as Orcus. Now, 2nd edition saw the name of the Marilith change multiple times, as like I said before, they were only a Type 5 demon in 1st edition, and with the release of 2nd edition, they became known as Hissing Demons. This is interesting because actually, unique to 2nd edition as well, all demons were actually rebranded Tanari in an attempt to get away from the satanic panic that was taking place around Dungeons & Dragons in the 1980s. And if you want to hear more about that, or hear kind of what sparked it off, you can find that information in my various facts about Dungeons & Dragons video. You can find a link to right over here, or there'll be a link in the description below if you'd rather wait till the end. Now, with this, there was also the Monster Manual and Monster Compendium released for 2nd edition. So later, with the release of the second one of these, the Marilith name came to be, and they were known to be leaders of the Tanari in the Blood War, or the constant battle between demons and devils that take place in the first layer of Hell. Also unique to 2nd edition is that the Marilith could actually cast a multitude of spells, including powerful ones like Polymorph. With this, she also had the ability to summon reinforcements of other various Tanari, or demons, ranging of multiple types, and with this was a much more versatile kind of creature. 3.5 edition kept many of these different various spellcasting components and summoning techniques in addition to her martial prowess, though these tended to go away with 4th edition as she lost all ability to cast spells and could no longer re-summon enforcements through magical gates. Instead, with 4th edition, the emphasis was sheerly on her blades and ability to slice your head off, though compared to her 5th edition counterpart, this is much less, as she's actually only able to attack with all 6 of her swords in one turn twice in her entire existence. So what should you expect if your party is so unlucky as to happen across a Marilith in your adventures, besides being strangely turned on by a weird snake lady? Well, prepare to be relentlessly slaughtered, because even if you were to somehow catch a glimpse of the Marilith without her noticing, this will quickly change given the fact that she has 120 feet true sight, and the Marilith can then easily close the gap between herself and her targeted victim with a 40-foot movement speed and a teleportation ability of 120 feet that simply costs 1 action, making up for her distinct lack of ranged attack options. Once the Marilith is up close and personal, it's all over for you, as the Marilith can attack a whopping 7 times per round. She gets 6 attacks with her various sword arms, and 1 with her tail. And if that weren't enough, if you're hoping to land a hit on the Marilith, good luck, as with a base AC of 18, she can increase this by 5 per every single attack that you do with her parry attack, as she blocks one of yours with her sword as her reaction. However, she gets a reaction for every single one of your turns instead of once per round like a normal creature. And even if you are so lucky as to finally land a hit on her, good luck doing any damage, as she is straight up immune to all poison effects and has resistance to both fire, cold, lightning, and all non-magical physical attacks. Thus, if you're looking to slaughter your party with a sea of serpent ladies, the Marilith makes a great example. And they are another example of a more intelligent creature, like we talked about with the Beholder, and may focus their efforts on one single party member in order to down them. This could change over the course of the battle, especially if a party member were to disarm them and lose one of their swords. However, in general, as a CR 16 creature, only extremely high-level groups should even consider taking on one Marilith, let alone an entire group. The saving grace here is that Mariliths are not legendary creatures, and thus are not granted legendary resistances, legendary actions, or lair actions. Though that also means that it's more likely you may encounter more than one of these at once. As stated before, the Marilith is a highly intelligent creature with an intelligence score of 18 and a wisdom score of 16. So similar again to the Beholder, she will know when she's outmatched and may attempt to make a deal with you or attempt to retreat if things look particularly bad for her, especially if she's faced with another demon or a particularly bleak fight. And between all of that, your party should be dead. Congratulations, you finished another video in the Bestiary series. Stick with us next week to figure out just what creatures can lob off the heads of your new level 1 party. As always, I'm RPGMD. And I'd love you, love you, love you forever if you liked, favorite, subscribed. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and a thumbs down if you don't. You can find all my previous content over here and over here. I'm RPGMD, writing you a prescription on all things Dice, Dragons, and Gaming, and I'll be seeing you guys next week.